Welcome back, focused learners. We're breaking down FC Barcelona's absolutely dominant 2026-27 season opener against Elche. Listen, if you've been waiting all summer for meaningful, top-flight football to return, this match literally delivered on every single level. Just look at that final scoreline from the Martinez Valero, 5-0. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in all the corporate storylines and the preseason hype, but when you see a result like this, it's just a sudden, emphatic realization. This was a ruthless statement right out of the gate by a team hungry to prove they're still the absolute kings of Spanish football. Okay, let's dive into this. Before a ball was even kicked, manager Hansi Flick made the stakes incredibly clear in his pre-game press conference. He flat out said, "Our goal is clear. We want to fight for the third La Liga title in a row." So this definitely isn't a transition year for Barcelona. The expectation is complete dominance as they enter year 3 of Flick's system with some seriously sky-high ambitions.
Section 1. Title Defense Expectations.
Now, defending a title, let alone going for a three-peat, is never easy. And honestly, this opener had all the makings of a potential trap game. First off, you've got the World Cup hangover. Several core players arrived late to training after making deep international runs, which forced Flick to kind of mix and match his starting lineup. Second, they're staring down a brutally packed August schedule, playing essentially every few days. And if that wasn't enough adversity, right before halftime, Gavi was forced to leave the pitch grabbing his knee, and Pedri had to be rushed on. In a lesser team, that kind of disruption completely derails the match. But for Barcelona, they barely even blinked.
Section 2. Flick's Tactical Highline.
So to understand how Barca thrived despite all those obstacles, we really have to look at the tactics. This match presented a pretty fascinating battleground. On one side, you had Elche's new coach coming in with a very brave, possession-based attacking philosophy. They actually wanted to take the game to Barcelona. But on the flip side, you had Hansi Flick's notoriously aggressive high defensive line. By trying to play this open, attacking game, Elche played right into Barcelona's hands. They kept repeatedly falling into these highly coordinated offside traps, leaving vast amounts of space in behind their own defense for Barca's wingers to just absolutely exploit. And the results of that tactical mismatch? 12. This 5-0 thrashing marked Barcelona's 12th consecutive top-flight victory over Elche. It is genuinely astounding to see that kind of number at this level of the sport. It just proves their historical, unyielding dominance in this specific matchup. Section 3. Captain Raphinha leads. But hey, tactics only work if the players actually execute them, right? And Raphinha wasn't just a goal scorer today. He was the tactical tip of the spear. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how he, as the newly minted captain, completely set the tone. He won the opening penalty with a dangerous run in behind and then just calmly slotted it into the side netting. Later on, he netted a second-half brace, acting almost like a traditional number 9 with those central runs. But most importantly, he led the intense high press from minute 1, dictating the energy for the entire squad. If we walk chronologically through this timeline of destruction, you can see just how systematic this whole thing was. Raphinha opens the scoring at 14 minutes. Right before halftime, Adeyemi makes it 2. Raphinha bags his second at 65 minutes. Then, Fermin López enters the chat, and the pace just explodes with 2 rapid-fire goals at 69 and 75 minutes. Barcelona didn't just score 5. They systematically dismantled Elche's defense across the entire 90 minutes. Section 4. The Dream Debutants. Of course, it wasn't just the veterans doing all the heavy lifting out there. Karim Adeyemi delivered an instant impact. Right on the stroke of halftime, taking a brilliant assist from Raphinha, Adeyemi controlled the ball perfectly across his body and curled in this incredibly silky debut goal. On the other end of the pitch, you had youngster Xavi Espart. Naturally a right back, he was thrown in at left back for this opener. He didn't just survive, he showed incredible defensive diligence and even pushed forward to grab an assist later in the match. But when we talk about instant impact, we really have to talk about this number, 2. That is the number of assists secured by substitute Anthony Gordon in just his first 5 minutes on the pitch. Unbelievable. What's really amazing is what Gordon did with those minutes. On his very first touch, he brought down a difficult pass, bypassed a shot of his own, and assisted Raphinha. Minutes later, he found himself in a pure one-on-one with the goalkeeper, a 60% chance to score his own debut goal. Instead, he chose the 90% completion play, scoring the ball perfectly for Fermin López to just tap it in. And this brilliantly illustrates his ultimate unselfishness, passing up his own glory to guarantee his team's absolute dominance. Section 5. the final verdict.
When you look at the broader match statistics, there's actually a really surprising fact in here. Elche actually led in both total passes and possession for a large chunk of the first half. But as we know, matches aren't won on possession, they're won on execution. While Elche passed the ball around harmlessly in front of Barcelona's compact defense, Barça was absolutely ruthless in transition. The second they won the ball back, their speed and verticality just crushed Elche instantly.
And no goal highlighted that golf in class quite like Fermin Lopez's second of the night. After missing out on the World Cup, Fermin made a spectacular return to meaningful football. He received the ball, popped it up in the air to put his defender in a literal spin cycle, took a touch, and just slotted it away. I mean, it was pure magic and the absolute final nail in Elche's coffin.
After the match, Hansi Flick's verdict totally validated everything we just saw. He said Raphinha is a good example for intensity. When he's doing this, the other players are following him. This beautifully highlights the collective buy-in to that pressing system. The 5-0 result wasn't just about pure talent, it was about sheer, unified effort led fiercely by their new captain.
So, what does this all mean for the rest of the season? It's an incredible start for sure, but can Barcelona actually maintain this ruthless intensity? With a grueling August schedule looming, opponents adapting to their high line, and the uncertainty surrounding Gavi's knee, the true test of this three-peat campaign is really only just beginning. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on how Flick rotates his squad in the coming weeks.